I've been doing this long enough to tell you that nobody changes until they change their energy.
Right.
And when you change your energy, you change your life. It's the way it is. So when you stop using your enemy to reaffirm your addiction to hatred, when you stop using your best friend to reaffirm your addiction to suffering, when you stop using your Facebook to reaffirm your addiction to insecurity, when you stop that whole process and you start going inward and you're no longer relying on those outer things to create those emotions, and you start creating those inner emotional states, you start changing your energy. Now, whatever is no longer a vibrational match between you and that past, present reality is going to fall away.
Right.
They're just going to spiral out because you're no longer putting your attention on them. In other words, the stronger the emotion you feel with some problem in your life, the more you give it your attention. Where you place your attention is where you place your energy. You're giving your power away, your life force, your energy to heal to that person or that problem. Lower the volumes of that emotion, you take your attention off that person, you're calling energy back to you. And you're building your own electromagnetic field. We've seen the evidence of that in many events, because when people start overcoming themselves, the first day, not always, but the energy of the room will drop. Why? Because they're drawing from the field to build their own field. Now when they build their own field the next day and the fields start interfering with the people next to them, whoop, the energy in the room just keeps going up, right? So now, there's no longer a vibrational match between you and your coworker, you and your job, you and your boss. Be prepared. Because that old known thing is going to fall away because you're no longer emotionally and energetically connected to it.
Right.
So then when you get in that state, it's not a time to try to put it back together. Because at the same time these things are unraveling and they're moving towards chaos, and chaos is just unpredictable order.
Right.
It's novelty, the newness of an experience that you can't predict is chaos. If you apply the formula, and all potentials in the quantum field exist as electromagnetic potentials. They are possibilities. So now you're going to combine a clear intention with an elevated emotion, the thought being the electrical charge, the feeling being the magnetic charge. You begin to open your heart. It begins to produce that broad field. You lay the thought of a new future into there. Now you're changing your energy. When they begin to synchronize coherently, your brain and heart, you got a strong Wi-Fi signal. Because now you're putting out a very laser coherent signal. When there's a synchronization between your energy and that potential that exists in the future, but it really exists in the present moment because that's where they exist in the quantum. Now you start to see synchronicities in your life because you're synchronized to a future, and they come as opportunities. Wow, that was kind of cool. And those are breadcrumbs from the field, like keep going, you're on to something. So the problem is that people, they do it and then they get up and then they react in traffic, or they get frustrated and they start feeling the emotions of the past.
Why are you talking about me?
They start feeling the emotions of their past, and you know what happens? They just disconnected from the energy of their future, and they're back to the energy of the past. Don't expect anything to change in your life. In fact, expect more reasons to be frustrated. But if you catch yourself, you take a breath, you get back into brain and heart coherence, you tune back in, well, you're not going to go unconscious till 8 o'clock.
That's a victory. Like as you said, that's a victory.
So then the key then is to be able to keep synchronizing to the point where it begins to become familiar. And the word meditation means to become familiar with. So now you're in a new familiar state of being, and people say, I'm really not doing anything. Of course, you're doing the work. You're becoming familiar with a new set of thoughts, new set of intentions, a new set of emotions. Your heart's opening more. Your immune system's up-regulating. Your genes are up-regulating. Your brain and heart are more coherent. Your energy field is bigger. You feel connected more. All these things, you're changing programs. You start seeing those things taking place in your life. You're going to want to do this, right? It's not going to be effort.
100%.
Now, live by the hormones of stress. The hormones of stress cause us to draw from this field and turn it into chemistry, heightens our senses. We become materialists. We narrow our focus on the cause. Now, when we create reality, now we're living in three-dimensional reality. The way we do it is we got to drag our body through space from one point of consciousness where I am to my future, my dreams, another point of consciousness, and that's going to take time.